Hi, it's Polly with Get Busy Thriving. Today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, the power of your story. And I find that people don't realize that everything that you're experiencing in life is a result of a story you're telling yourself. Everything is a story you're telling yourself, whether you're telling yourself a story about your past, something that just happened, or happened a long time ago to you, something that's in front of you, this person, the situation, something that you're doing, how you're being, the story you tell yourself about the way that you are, and the future. Are you optimistic about it? Are you telling yourself a story like this is totally going to work out, or things never work out for me? Or are you afraid and worry? So you're telling a story of things not turning out well. Whatever it is, the emotional experience you're having from life or you're experiencing in life is a result of the story you tell yourself about the way that things are or the way that you are. It's all a story. It's all a story. You're telling a powerful story, you're telling an empowering story, or you're telling a disempowering story. So for example, let's say I have a client who was learning a new software program. And she kept telling herself, it's so hard, I have to work so hard at it, there's so much to learn, it's like all these things, all these things, all these things. I was like, giving her just a really crummy experience. It was becoming hard and harder, right? Her experience of it was like trudging through sludge, right? Like, oh my gosh, I gotta learn all this stuff. And instead, we created an experience where the story she told herself was like, wow, I can't wait to learn all this stuff because look at what I'm gonna be able to do and what it's gonna create in terms of connection, and la 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 la. And just turning around the story and beginning to feel for those emotions that make that story, that experience of it, feel better. Because whether you like it or not, your mind is a meaning-making machine. Your mind is always telling you a story about what's happening. It's the way that we're built. It's the way that we're wired. From ancient days of, is this person or this situation going to harm me or help me? Fight or flight, right? It's the way that the mind works. So pay attention to the story that you're telling yourself. People don't often realize when they're feeling bad, they're telling themselves a negative story. Like the story they're telling themselves feels bad, and so they have a bad experience. And we can control it. We can tell a different story. We can tell a better story. So the way that you can work with this is to notice how you feel in your body, right? Go, oh, I don't feel I'm uncomfortable, I'm awkward, or I'm anxious, or I'm afraid, or I'm worried about something. Well, first, what is it? What are you focusing on? Is it the past, present, future? Is it this person? Is it yourself? Are you spending time just, beating yourself up? The story you're telling yourself is, I'm not good enough, or I didn't do that very well, or I'm not getting where I want to be, or I don't do this very well. Whatever it is, it's what you're focusing on and then the story you're telling yourself. So if you find yourself not feeling well, go, okay, well, what am I focused on? What am I making it mean? Okay, can I tell a better story? And sometimes that looks like, I don't have to think about this right now, because sometimes, you're just not feeling, let's say in an empowered place, let's say you're just really tired and the kids, and this and that, and you've got so much to do and the laundry list and all these things to get done before bed or something. And then you start beating yourself up because you ate too much at dinner or you didn't finish that or, whatever. So sometimes like, okay, I don't need to think about this right now. Get a new fresh start tomorrow. Or, something more general like things are always working out for me. This situation that's in front of me, this person, it doesn't feel good right now, but I know this is going to work out. I trust and I have faith that something better is going to happen from this. It always does. So it's softening that story. Maybe it's going general, like, I don't have to think about this right now. Or something, one of my favorite ones is, what else could this mean? Because, a lot of the story that you tell yourself, the way that the mind works is it looks for experiences from the past and it attributes it to something that it already knows. So what else could it mean? Gives the mind something else to think about. Like, oh, usually I come upon this situation and I go here with my thoughts. But instead, what else could this mean? And then that opens the rest of your brain, your subconscious mind, to go, what else could it mean? Okay, here's some other things that it could mean. You're accessing new parts of your brain, right? So when you find yourself not feeling well, go, what am I focusing on? What's the story I'm telling myself? And darn it, I can tell a better story. I know I can tell a better story. And it takes practice because The way that your mind works is it's very habituated, right? It will go to old patterns. It will run that old record player, that old tape that says, oh, you come upon this, we know how this feels and we know how to do this. So here's what this usually means. Boom, right? You got to take that opportunity to go, this doesn't feel good. I got to tell a better story about this. And you can. And it takes practice. But my invitation to you after watching this is say, next time you're not feeling so great, what am I focused on? What's the story I'm telling myself? And what do I want to tell myself? And allow yourself to practice. Practice each day with telling a better story about anything. Like yourself, especially, who you are, or, the disempowering thoughts of, I'm not good enough, or I don't know how to do this, or I didn't do well at that, or I'm fat, or I'm no good at this, or what have you. Those stacking and stacking and stacking upon themselves just eat away at your self-esteem. Eat away at the self-esteem. And instead, if you want to be more intentional with the story you're telling yourself, you can practice my morning process. Is a great way that I stack my deck each morning feeling good about myself. I tell myself powering I am statements like I'm amazing, I'm loving, I'm a contribution, I'm confident. And I say that to myself because I know that my psyche, my subconscious is listening. And that starts my momentum. And then throughout the day, I'm constantly looking for when I don't feel well, when I don't feel emotionally at my best. Oh, what am I saying about this? Okay. And then I use that as an opportunity to try something else. I invite you to it. So what's a better story you can tell today? And practice it. Enjoy it.